Kids Voice Studios, what's going on? Hey, Pastor Julian coming at you today, and I am so happy, so glad that you decided to spend some time with us here on this wonderful day, no matter what day you're watching. We're thankful for you, and again, thanks for spending some time with us. But hey, we are on week number 3 of our series called On My Block. Yeah, On My Block. This series has been all about compassion. Just in case you're forgetting, or just in case you need a refresher of sorts, what is compassion? Check this out, it's right up on your screens. We're thinking about compassion like this. Compassion is caring enough to do something about someone else's need. I'm going to read that again because it's so very important. Compassion is caring enough to do something about someone else's need. That's right. We all care about people. I don't care what you say, don't care how you feel. We all care about people. To our core, it is in our hearts. God created us to care about others. What are we going to do for others? That's what compassion is. Do you care enough about this person or that person or all people to do something about their needs? Would you put their needs ahead of your needs? Or what needs would you put ahead of their needs and your needs? And this can kind of get a little confusing as I'm just talking in circles. But either way, compassion is caring enough about others to do something about their needs. That's what we've been talking about all series long. And throughout this month of February, we've been looking at stories about Jesus and how he cared for others. Today, we're going to say and tell you and teach you and show you an absolutely amazing story, one that is near and dear to my heart because it's something that I live weekly. And so that's all I'm going to give you. But until we get to that place, there's a big answer that I have to tell you about. Big answers are brand new every single week. And this week, our big answer says this: use what you have to help others. Come on, let's say that one more time. Use what you have to help others. That's right. Use what you have. You don't have to have the most perfect thing. You don't have to have the most perfect words. You don't have to have everything lined up in such a way. Use what you have already, right now, today. What you have today can help someone else. Trust me, who you are today can help someone else. So we're going to get into that throughout this story and as we finish this story. But for right now, I want you guys to stand up out of your seats. We're getting ready to go into a time of worship because if you're like me, maybe your week has already been long and you're like, oh, I'm just ready to start a brand new week. Sometimes there's distractions in our heads. There's a weight that we feel. What we need to do when we feel like that is worship. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to spend some time in worship right now. We're going to sing, we're going to dance. And if you feel down, if you feel out, just dance, just sing, just worship in this time and do this as a test. Just see how you feel once we get done worshiping. All right, do that for me. So go ahead and stand up to your seats and let's go.
Feel the wonder, say his name, watch the darkness slip away, put your power on display. Say goodbye to fear and shame. We won't stop coming after you. We won't move until you move. Come and do what only you can do. Come and do what only you can do. We won't stop coming after you. We won't move until you move. Come and do what only you can do. Come and do what only you can do. Move right now. We want you. We want you.
Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now, for an amazing story, inspired by the book of John, chapter 6, verses 1 through 13.
Let's set the stage. Jesus had been performing amazing miracles and healing people. Great crowds gathered wherever He went. So, when Jesus needed a little time away, He crossed the Sea of Galilee with His friends. He was probably looking forward to a quiet day on the mountainside, overlooking the lake. But the crowds had followed.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
Looks like thousands.
Should we send them all away?
No, I'll talk to them.
Even though He was tired, Jesus welcomed the people. He could see the hunger in their hearts, so He sat down on the mountainside and began to teach them.
I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never go hungry.
Through the heat of the day, Jesus kept speaking to the people. As the sun sank lower, though, people started getting restless. See, nobody planned to stay there the whole day, and everybody was getting hungry. Well, Jesus knew how He would provide a meal, but first, He spoke to His friend Philip.
Where can we buy bread for all these people to eat?
Philip's eyes widened as he looked down over the mountainside.
There are thousands of people here. Even buying enough bread for everyone to have one bite would take more than half a year's pay.
Feeding this crowd certainly seemed like an impossible job. Jesus' friends started to check around, trying to see if anyone at all had brought along some food. Now, imagine you are there, on that very same hillside. Early this morning, you heard footsteps and excited voices just outside your home.
They say Jesus is heading for the lakeshore.
Now, you had never seen Jesus, but you had heard a lot about Him, so you begged your mom to let you go along, please.
Please, please, please. It's not far.
And she said yes, which is pretty amazing, but she wouldn't let you run out the door unprepared.
Here, I've wrapped up some bread and fish for you.
Thanks, Mom.
So you grabbed the bundle, thanks Mom, and ran out the door, joining the crowd. When you finally reached the lakeshore, the crowd was a little overwhelming. But high up on the mountainside, you could see a man surrounded by a close-knit group of followers. Sometimes it's good to be little, so you make your way little by little uphill through the crowd.
Excuse me?
After a while, you were so close, you could hear Jesus.
Anyone who hears my word and believes Him who has sent me has eternal life.
You slid under someone's elbow and found a place to sit on a little rock just a few yards away from Jesus. And all day, you listened. You weren't bored even a bit, because somehow everything Jesus said, it seemed like He was saying it just to you. In fact, you even forgot to eat your lunch.
Oops. Guess I am kind of hungry.
Now you can see other people are getting hungry too. And Jesus has taken a short break to talk with His friends, and then you're sad because Jesus is probably planning to send everybody away to get their own food. But then, a few of His friends start walking through the crowd.
Does anyone have any food?
Nothing here, I'm sorry.
Oh, you really want your bread and fish at this point, but as tired and hungry as you are, you know Jesus has been working hard all day. So, you clear your throat, and then you say,
I do.
Great. What do you got?
5 little loaves and 2 fish.
Not much.
I know, but Jesus can have it.
Well, thank you. Come along. You follow Jesus' friend Andrew right up to Jesus.
Here's a boy with 5 small loaves of barley bread and 2 small fish. It won't go far in such a large crowd.
Jesus turns and looks right at you. He can see you're hungry and that you've chosen to give up your lunch anyway. And then He smiles. It's the best thank you you've ever gotten. He reaches out His hands and you give Him your food. Then Jesus turns back to His friends.
Have the people sit down.
Jesus' friends exchanged surprised glances, but then they started gesturing to the crowd.
All right, everyone sit down.
Plenty of room.
like a slowly rolling wave from front to back, you see all the people sit down. Then, right beside you, Jesus takes your 5 small loaves of bread and 2 small fish, and he lifts them up to heaven.
Father, thank you for this food you've given us.
Then, Jesus takes the loaves and breaks them. He begins handing them out to his friends and to the people in the first rows on the ground. He does the same with the fish. You even get some of your own bread and fish back.
Yum.
You look around and you can see Jesus' friends still handing out pieces of fish and bread to the crowd.
But this is way more than what I gave to Jesus.
Soon, it seems like the entire crowd is eating dinner. Your own stomach is already full, and you still have bread and fish left over. As the people around you begin to finish their meals, Jesus calls his friends again.
Gather the leftover pieces. Don't waste anything.
You watch in amazement as Jesus' friends go through the crowd with large baskets. And sure enough, lots of people have extra bread and fish to drop inside. When the men finally return to Jesus, they've collected 12 full baskets of leftover fish and bread.
That's impossible.
But you know it happened because you saw it and because you've met Jesus. Nearby, a man exclaims,
This must be the prophet who's supposed to come into the world.
Now, you aren't sure exactly what that means, but you are sure that Jesus deeply cares for every single person on this hillside. And you're sure that he can take your small lunch to meet every single person's need.
Hey Kidsway Studios, before we do anything else, we're going to go into another time of worship. And again, knowing what we just heard, we're going to sing a song called Mighty to Save, because that's who God is. He is so mighty and he saves us from so much. So before we do anything else, we're going to spend one more time in worship. So won't you stand to your feet and sing this song out with us.
Let mercy fall on me. Where everyone needs forgiveness, the kindness of the Savior, the hope of nations. Savior, He can move the mountains. For my God is mighty to save. He is mighty to save. Forever, author of salvation. But He rose and conquered the grave. Jesus conquered the grave. So take me as you find me, all my fears and failures, and fill my life again. I give my life to Father, everything I believe in, and now I surrender. I surrender. Savior, He can move the mountains. My God is mighty to
Thanks for worshiping with us, Kidsway Studios. Hey, I want to go over our memory verse with you. Do you know where it's at? Check this out. It's up on your screens right now. Micah chapter 6, verse 8. This is a longer one, but stick with me here. It says, "The Lord has shown you what is good. He has told you what he requires of you. You must act with justice. You must love to show mercy, and you must be humble as you live in the sight of our God." So this is what it says. It said, God has shown you what is good. He's told you what he requires. You must act with justice. You must love to show mercy, and you must be humble as you live in sight of your God. Micah chapter 6, verse 8. Hey, you can do those things. There's a verse in Ecclesiastes that says the Lord has placed himself within the heart of all mankind, every single person, young, old, newborn, grandparents, doesn't matter. God has placed himself and his heart inside the heart of all mankind. You care about people, and that's a big deal. And sometimes what we think about ourselves can hold us back from actually helping others, from actually showing that we care about others. The way that we think about ourselves can actually be really harmful, not just to ourselves, but it can be harmful to others as well. Check this out. Remember in our story that we just heard, this little boy shows up with a couple pieces of bread and some fish, but there's 5,000 people that need to be fed. This little boy did something absolutely amazing. He brought what he had to Jesus. And you can do the same thing. Only bring what you have, because trust me, friend, if you are following Jesus, if you're calling yourself a Christian, if you truly believe that God has a will for you, and I promise you that he does, you're gonna do only so much, and then God is going to come in to your life and do what only he can do. Look at this little boy. He brought what he had. He had a couple pieces of fish and a couple pieces of bread. How am I supposed to feed these 5,000 people, Jesus? Jesus told him, you're not. I am. Jesus says the same thing to you. Lord, how am I supposed to fix the problems in my school? Well, Jesus says, I've created you with a personality, a good personality, a personality that's bold, a personality that makes people laugh, a personality that encourages people. I've created you this way. And that personality is gonna take you so far and then not any further. And that's where Jesus comes in. That's where Jesus starts to work through your life and only do what he can do. It's Jesus' job to do those things. Everyone has something to offer. And hear me when I say that. Everyone has something to offer. I don't care how old you are. I don't care your situation, your status at home. I don't care what you think about yourself. I do care what you think about yourself. But I'm saying that that isn't something that should hold you back from thinking you don't have anything to offer. You do have something to offer. Maybe you have toys. Maybe you have a book. If you're an artist, maybe you can draw a card. If you like to talk, if you think you're good at speaking, maybe you can be an encourager. Maybe you can make people laugh. Their list goes on and on of the things that you have to offer to make somebody know that they are cared about. And if you're one today thinking that nobody cares about me, hey, I don't know your situation. I might not know who you are, but I promise you, God knows exactly who you are, exactly what you need, and exactly what you're asking for. Don't stop praying for them, friend. Trust me. And if that's you and you're saying you need to be prayed for, send me an email. Have your parents help you in this. My email is julian@bridgeway.tv. Send me any prayer requests that you may have. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know what's going on in your life. I would love, love, love to hear those things. Kidsway Studio, use what you have to help others. What you have today, what you have right now, can make more of a difference than you know, because you're gonna go so far, and then Jesus is gonna come in and take you the rest of the way. So Kidsway Studio, I hope that you guys had a blast with this. I know I had fun with you guys today. I could stay up here and talk to you so much longer, so much more about what we're learning here, but it is that time. I've gotta let you go. Hey, we love you. Can't wait to see you. We hope that you get in building soon, and make sure that you send me that email. Let me know what's going on in your life. Let me know a prayer request that you have. I would love to pray with you, even if it is over the computer. Set up a Zoom call. We can do something. I would love to do that. Just let me know. Again, that's Julian@bridgeway.tv. parents, make sure you check out our website. That's bridgeway.tv. We have some downloadable links on our kids page. Scroll over to the family tab, drop down to the kids, go to the elementary section, and then there are some downloadable links. One's called CTC, stands for Continue the Conversation. That means that, hey, we provide you with some things that would keep the conversation going from the things that we learned about today, things that you can do at home. There's also an activity page section there. It's called AHH, At Home Activities. Those are some things that you can do at home right now or throughout the week that would help you to further drive home the point for today. Either way, we're glad that you guys hung out with us today. Thank you so much for being here. You guys stay safe, be good, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.